Hello, Hana. Soul Dr. Nick here, and it is January 27th, 2025. These are my daily musings. Again, not for general public consumption, and if you choose to, you're welcome to watch it. And I'm posting it for me. And this past weekend, I haven't posted, but I've recorded on Saturday and Sunday. And so today there'll be a bunch of posting happening. And there's stories in my head. It's been a phenomenal cosmic weekend in a way. The planetary alignments, amazing breath sessions with Judy and her apprenticeship group, amazing breath sessions with the Ohana breath, and feeling the oneness, the soul reunion, and having that feedback come from some of the participants. And then that swing into elation, and then the kind of crash that may happen as DeMartini says, it balances out. And for myself, it's noticing that today. Waking up in the morning going, I just want to go back to bed, and I did. I got up, fed Bao Bao, and went back to bed, and then I was like, today already, the old pattern it's going to be a crummy day. Just hide. You're going to screw everything up. And instead, I'm going to practice sharing this with my team, because we are going to be launching the Ohana Sage website soon and saying, hey, don't have me be the stopping point for what we already know we want to do. And that's the beauty of having a team. It's not stopping because of my current limitations. And then how do I care for, nurture the parts of myself that need to be so I can do the most important priorities today, because I just received the 1% diary yesterday as well. So I'm going to bring that with me and start looking at it going, what is the 1% change that I can make? And it even is just getting present. It's not stepping backwards even 1%. And then how do I actually fulfill on the things that I have as priorities right now? What I need to do be for the website, share with the people that I already know I want to share with, some of my Ohana Brotherhood and others, to really invite them in and say, hey, please walk through this and notice what's there and walk through it as if you're really going through it and see what's possible. And then taking a look at all the places, like I've been working with an accountant, following up with that, working with a dietitian, following up with that, or a naturopath, working with even the juicing company and following up with that, working with so many people. Even my next Ohana breath, getting clear. It's about commitment. Okay, and that's for me too. What is commitment? Within commitment in that container lies the freedom to actually choose to be, and how to come from that place, and then how to follow up with Elena DeMartini and the values and breath and everything else. So it's following up with a number of different things this week, in the midst of all this creation, and in the midst of the following up, recognize, how do I let it go? How do I let go of the pressure and allow the flow and keep stepping into what my highest and greatest is? And this is the week to keep bringing up what is the dream life, work, mission that I want to do, and how do I get paid handsomely to do it, and how do I keep looking at what's there? Like, be so clear on the inspired path I want to be on that I have the resilience no matter what comes up. And that's the piece I've noticed, is the old way of thinking is resilience is built by going through hardships, versus resilience is built by creating so much inspiration, not manic, not false fantasies, but inspiration that I know that I am going to keep going no matter what, because I have no idea whether, I say this often, a bus is going to hit me. It can hit me at any time. I have no idea if my body decides it wants to do something differently than homeostasis and staying alive. And I can still be so inspired to do what I think I want to do, what I know I want to do, what I believe I want to do. And that's part of it as well. It's the crazy paradox of having a child, because you realize you're having a live being that's technologically so advanced. If we look at our body as the best technology we can imagine, and we have no idea of its true function in every moment. So even though we can think of preventing external harm, we can never fully prevent internal disasters. And that goes along with the pets. Bao Bao the other day, our beautiful cat, had a poop with some blood in it. And normally the old me would be like, yep, let's go to a vet, let's check it out. And I was like, he looks great otherwise. Why would I do that? And in today's day and age, I won't lie, many of us in these professions have lost sight of the intuition of looking at the holistic picture. And so it's just, what's the next test to cover myself so that insurance doesn't get me in trouble? Which reminds me of what I was thinking about this morning, even building a new home and all the permits and everything else like that. Like, one of the things in these condos is these doors that automatically shut, and they're really annoying. I imagine it's for fire safety, but how can we build a building where it's not just looking at the very worst scenario and saying it has to happen this way all the time? And how do we build it now outside of all these constraints and containers that may not actually serve but had vested interests? And knowing that that may be challenging because insurance, city bylaws, all that stuff. And that's a future issue. That's a future issue to take a look at with more support and people that are knowledgeable in this field. So part of my life, I recognize, is how do I bring in people who love doing what they're doing? Like, even right now, we're looking for someone handy to help us put up some shelves and things like that, because that's not my greatest and highest gift. So taking a breath. What else is there? One of the things from the Ohana breaths I'm realizing with these recordings is that it feels almost medicinal for the participants, like they're awakening to their own medicine. And if I can keep tapping in and tuning into that and creating something that unlocks the inner medicine, this is something that transcends time and space, that cannot fully be regulated, that once it gets out there is out there. And I look forward to creating more of that. And I was recognizing that every substance, we are amazing alchemists. We can transmute, even right now, the sunlight into heat, into energy. It's going and flowing into the body. But even more than that, thinking about food, like, we can transmute dead animals and dead plants and random things and turn it into this delicious explosion of ecstasy in our mind. And how is that possible? And how have we been looking at creating just a more material, objective world versus this internal experience that we can always shift? And that's what I'm supporting, is the alchemy of this human consciousness. To be able to be in any state and shift it. Shift it in a moment. I have such gratitude for people who trust me. My dear brother Altez came yesterday and was able to reveal where he's at, like what his inner dialogue is, and then from there we can practice transmuting it and finding a whole new dialogue. And how many people do we have in our lives where we can fully be transparent with? Even myself, I'm practicing it more and more, even on these YouTube videos, being transparent. And it's a practice to be transparent, to trust that I can actually share and reveal, and even amidst all the judgment that may happen, that's okay. Because as I become my own key person of influence, someone may watch it sometime, take clips out of it, and it's okay. It's okay that this happens, because this is where I was at that point. And the funny thing is that people always look and say, well, this is who they were. And I can remind myself, I have no idea who they are in this very moment. Everything can change in an instant. Yes, there are patterns that repeat themselves. Yes, looking, for example, I love spending time with my biological family because their patterns are almost inevitably part of my patterns. And then Dr. DeMartini, when I listen to it, was like, everything you see in someone else is a reflection of you. So anyone who wants to pick apart these patterns, if they're really being honest, are only picking it apart because they're actually noticing parts of it themselves. And it's way easier to disown the part in yourself that you don't want to see than to point the finger at someone else. And I notice I'm doing that sometimes too. It's so easy when I work with clients to see it and they're going, oh, them. They can't see their own stories about money, their own stories about self-worth, all these things. And then I have a day like today where I doubt my self-worth, I doubt my abilities, I doubt the connections, I doubt the strength. I lack the certainty. And thank you. Thank you for these days, because otherwise I just keep driving forward without creating the nuance that could be there and without overriding someone else. One of my future breaths is going to be on preparation versus reparation. And I recognize that everything I want to create is for preparation, that reparations may not serve me. And I don't make that a universal thing, that reparations serve no one, because I have not been through the generational trauma that some others have been through. And I don't need to walk their path or tell them what's better for them. And that's part of the nuance. And perhaps someday I'll get to the point where I can really say, I feel I've got confidence to be able to say something. And Until then, I don't need to copy the sayings of others. And that's what I've been doing previously sometimes. It's the mimetic theory that you copy. And sometimes I copy my teachers before I'm ready to actually embody it. And can I give myself grace, because that's part of the process. Fake it till you make it is one of the cruder ways of saying it, and there's a truth to it. We're always both making it and faking it at the same time. And that's been part of the praise that I've received recently. Someone said, I've never seen someone, in a way rise so quickly. And I recognize that rising quickly allows many more ways to cut me down. And also is a reminder for me, how do I integrate it? How do I keep building on this foundation? So when you're able to, and if you're anywhere where you can enjoy sunshine, please do. Over here, it's blisteringly, well, it's not blisteringly cold, but it is like 0 degrees. There's frost everywhere. You can see it on my breath. And it's delightful to be in the sun. And such a reminder, I'm so grateful with my beloved finding this way of being in the sun more, of blue light being such an issue, and then recognizing right away when we notice that, how easy it is to want to share it with everyone, going, can you not see this? And what I'm recognizing and reminding myself is how can I actually live this life first? It's the same as when I was doing the breath and the enemas and noticing ceremony and noticing coaching and every single modality that served. How do I first embody it fully? And in the midst of the embodiment, the people that want to know right away will ask, and I can support them, but I don't need to tell everyone about it. They're gonna look at me like I'm freaking kooky, and I am. And then finally, we're looking at unschooling, at education, at learning modalities, at sovereignty, at all these ways of being with Sage. And how do we be with our children differently and meet them where they're at without having to be a right answer? Because I was just learning that there's this teacher that's teaching kids 9 languages before the age of 8, and the way they're talking, they're asking about modus operandi, and they're talking about the endorphins in the brain, and I'm like, holy crap, that's cool. And cool if the child's path is that, and the teacher is there who can have the capacity to teach that. And until I meet such a teacher, and until Sage demonstrates in a way, or asks for, requests, or demands that kind of learning, I just wanted to play. So many of us have forgotten how to play, and it's so funny. I was talking to someone yesterday, and it was like, our souls came here to play together, even the ones that triggered me. I'm like, that's such my work. In the moments I'm feeling really stuck, I've forgotten to play. So today, I'm gonna practice playing. Ciao for now.